Last save loaded.
Hello and welcome to the Last Save Loaded podcast. I am Jake Del Toro.
And I'm GB Joey. How's it going?
Very well, mate. Bit busy, as we'll come to in a second. But everything's great at the moment. How about yourself?
Well, much of the same, really. Also very, very busy this month. For February and March are generally very busy months because there's loads of exams going on and students taking exams this month. So there's a lot of preparation and marking and mock papers, and it's a bit of chaos, to be honest. But it's good. Very stressful, but good.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, that is actually why we're recording this short episode, just to give a brief explanation of why we've not got the latest episode out. And it's basically because, as Joe's just said, we've both been absolutely mentally busy at work and we've just not had time at all. But hopefully in the next week or 2 weeks, perhaps, we'll actually get time to finish the game off and get our thoughts recorded down and get the next episode out.
Yeah, it's been a bit difficult because of an evening I'm getting back considerably late, and it's difficult to jump on the PS2 knackered. My brain's completely mush, and I can't concentrate and take notes. And I've tried on several occasions but failed miserably and had to go back and do a little bit of the level again. So if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well, I think. So
yeah, absolutely. It's quite easy, I suppose, and tempted to rush through the game and then rush an episode out, but we really don't want to do that. We want to make sure we get everything we can done in the game that we want to do.
Exactly.
And then get a good quality episode out afterwards. We don't want to sort of be rushing and making a quick job of it when we don't really have to. We can just sort of take our time and get a decent episode out rather than rushing it.
I think
Go on, mate, sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think it does deserve a good playthrough as well, because I think it's a game that most people enjoy, and we've probably got, well, at least what I've played so far, I've got quite a bit to say on it. You know, good and bad, both ways. Yeah. And I think it's worth giving it a chance right to the end to see whether these good and bad points balance out, or whether they just simply, disperse on their own. I'm gonna wait till my last boss, if you want to call it that, to reserve a bit of judgment on whether I enjoyed it or not, and then give out my sincere opinion. But I need to see more of it. I think there are parts of it that are driving me absolutely potty. But I'm all right. I'm getting through it slowly, and like I say, I've had to go back and play a few levels because I just can't. I can't concentrate. I can't do it. So next week is the last week. This weekend coming up is the last week of exams and tests and mock exams. So I should be back into it mid-month and finish before the end of the month, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Shall we say that we'll aim to get this Snake Eater episode out on, just looking at the date, perhaps in the last week of March. That'll give us that'll give you a chance to get this busy week out of the way, and then we'll have 2 good weeks to get the playthrough done, and then hopefully get the recording done, and we can take it from there.
Yeah, I think that'll be fair, because that'll give me a chance to finish it, at a steady pace, at a good pace, and put lots of things down on paper as well to comment and ask, and whether you felt the same or differently about them. So, like you say, it's not really worth investing all that time just to bring out, a crappy old episode just to do it for the sake of it. And I think it deserves its time. So I'm going to let it carry on and see how it goes. See how this evolves.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, it is a game that does warrant our full attention, I think. And lack of attention and playing it sleepy doesn't really do the greatest service to it, does it? Because it's one of the games where you really need to concentrate playing, because, well, the way I play it anyway, and I would imagine most people do, is you've got to sort of observe it for a while, get the patterns of the guards that you're trying to get round.
You're trying to get your way through the forest as well.
Yeah, well, that's it. The way I play it anyway, there's a lot of memorisation to be done, and you just can't do that if you're playing tired. So, we'll give it our full attention and then get a belting episode out at the end of the month.
For sure.
That we can put everything into, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, too.
So,
go on.
away from Metal Gear and busy work schedules, what else has been happening in the world of Joe Calvo? Anything interesting?
Nothing really. I've been playing Killzone 3, which I sort of don't really have to concentrate much on because it's not for any particular podcast.
No.
With a few of the dorks, just as a bit of a let's say palate cleanser, if you like, and also just to try and distract myself from hard work. But even then, that's been in short bouts as well, because it's when I've only got time at the weekend a little bit to gather my thoughts and do a little bit of playing, gaming, and a bit of hobby pursuing. But I'm really looking forward to playing with the dorks on a mass scale and really getting into it and having a good old laugh. I'm waiting for the day where we can all get together and have a good old I don't know, chasing Helghast around a map and having a good old laugh. Listening to Jay and a few others and myself swear. F and
Swear something wrong, I can imagine. Well, speaking of Killzone, brings me on to a big thank you that I've got to say, and that's this is a big thank you to you for. Well, I'll just tell everyone that Joe has taken it upon himself to send me a copy of Killzone 3. I was planning on getting this, but limited funds this month and probably next month meant that I wouldn't have probably got it for a while. But Joe's taken it upon himself to send me a copy, so massive thanks, Joe. And the only problem I've got now is that it's been delivered to a neighbour who's away for the weekend. I think they're back tonight, this Sunday night, so I'm raring for them to get back so I can go and get my game and have a game on it.
Get your car and go and pick them up and say, give me the door key.
Give me your fucking key, you bastards. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing it, so massive thanks, Joe.
That's all right, man. My pleasure. I knew that you were planning on getting it, and I wanted you to come and join us on the dorks, and like I said before, having a bit of a mass dork killing session and swearing and effort and blinding, so I felt it a bit... and also it's for the podcast. Who knows, one day when the game's old and grey, we'll get a chance to talk about it and play through it again. So
that's it. Perhaps we should go back to the first one.
We should.
That's one that we should put on the list, actually.
Actually, somebody did say to me on the list, I think it was Chris O'Regan from the Super Happy Fun Time show, did mention it, that he sent me a Twitter saying that he had some games for us to review. And one of them was the first Killzone, which I looked at and thought, oh, I hadn't thought of that. I'm sure Jake would be interested. So it's down on the list, Chris. It has been added, and I'm sure we'll go back and play it when we've got a little bit of time, and most of this list has begun to whittle down a little bit. We'll
we have. I think we've got our next 2 or 3 games planned out, haven't we? But I'll definitely play Killzone. It's one that I picked up. Well, I don't think I picked it up new, but I think I picked it up when it dropped in price a little bit after it first came out, and I played it for a while, and it was always the way. I never got fully into it, but did enjoy it when I played it, so I look forward to playing it, actually.
Actually, I'm a bit of a noob to the Killzone thing, because I picked up Killzone 2 quite late. I didn't think it was the sort of game I would enjoy, and now I've got Killzone 3 on first day purchase, basically, because I loved the second one, and I really enjoyed playing on multiplayer as well, and this is good fun too. So, to be honest, I haven't even played or touched Killzone 1. I haven't even got it, which means I have to go and do some hunting around the game shops here to see if I can find it. And if I can, I'm going to...
do you know what? I've actually got 2 copies, so I can send you a copy if you like.
Oh, brilliant. That'll do. Yeah. Oh, why not? That's great. That'll be much appreciated. Yeah, that's good. Save me... because, I mean... The only problem I've got here with some of the games on PS2 is that they don't have a wide range. A lot of the games that get old, they tend to send back to... I don't know whether they send them to factories or to the warehouses or where they go.
They don't keep them out as pre-owned or anything.
No, because they don't have the space to keep it. The game that we've got here in the centre of town is pretty small. I'd say it's just the size of a corner shop. Mm-hmm. And it's barely got all the titles, the top 10 for each of the consoles. And sometimes it gets a little bit crowded in there, so I think they don't want to be, have people in the centre of the game store like you have in England with one of those big game baskets or big with old games where you can sift through and see what you like. And I think that just clutters the place too much, and I don't think they want to do that. So the best thing is when a game gets too old, bang, out the door. And only keep and only keep the ones that they really feel are going to sell. I mean, Little Big Planet is an old game. Well, old in inverted commas, but it's one that they can sell now, for example, because 2's come out, and all these sort of titles that they have a little bit of a second part or a third part or that people talk about can all be reissued again, and unless it's something really recent. By recent, I mean anything in the last 3 years or so. I don't think I'm going to get hold of it. So
Right.
I need to either order it from Amazon or get somebody like yourself to send me his other copy. Brilliant.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
Jake, quickly, you were asking me about what was going on in my day-to-day, and I babbled on about it. What's been happening with you on your side of the drink?
Well, aside from being insanely busy at work, not a great deal, to be honest. I have made a bit of a decision that's going to affect my gaming habits,
Oh, yeah?
and that is that I've decided to forego most new releases this year to just pick up the ones that I really, really want. I think there's only probably 3 or 4. Killzone 3 was one of them. There's LA Noire.
Oh, that looks lovely.
And Uncharted 3 are the only ones that are springing to mind at the moment that I'd like to get day one. And aside from that, I've decided that I'm going to concentrate most of my gaming time on retro gaming.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I've...
Any particular console, or what are you just going to by the by, just see what comes up and what you get?
I'm going to try and amass a collection of most of the old consoles and sort of spread my time between them depending on what game I'd like to play. At the moment, I've got a Mega Drive, a Saturn, a Nintendo 64, my PS3, my PS2, an Xbox 360, which will allow me to play quite a lot of the old Xbox games. And am I forgetting anything there? And I've got a Dreamcast as well, so I'm hoping to pick up a Super Nintendo, because I never had any Nintendo before the N64. And I also want a GameCube.
Brilliant.
And yeah, I just want to go back and play some of the games that I've missed. Much like what we're doing with the Last Save Loaded podcast, it'll give me something else to talk about. We can actually have a retro. What have you been playing? I guess.
Yeah. Are there any games that you're really, really looking forward to playing? Anything that you really has spurred this? So you thought, well, maybe I really want to play so and so game on this system just for that, or has it just been something that?
It's something I've been thinking about for a while, because I only really got heavily into games probably 18 months ago. I have always been a gamer, but never I still don't consider myself what you'd call perhaps a hardcore gamer. I've never been as into games as I am at the moment. It was just sort of I don't know what the word would be. It was never my main hobby.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it, whereas it probably is now. So I'd just like to go and revisit a few of the ones that I never got a chance to play when they first came out, and there's a few that are sticking in my mind that I'd really like to go back to. And
Which?
the Castlevania
Right.
on the so I'm going to reveal my naivety towards retro gaming now. I think pretty sure the Castlevania games were on the Nintendo consoles, or at least they were out on the Nintendo console, so I'm looking forward to playing them. And also I'm looking forward to going back to, there's 2 on the Nintendo 64, and that is Ocarina of Time, Zelda, and I want to go through GoldenEye again.
You're going to be swayed by graphics at all as well? I mean, you're going to be playing old systems here. I suppose the graphics don't really matter, does it? If you just
No, the graphics. I appreciate graphics as much as the next person, and I can fully appreciate HD graphics and nice graphics. But as long as the gameplay holds up, the graphics won't really bother me too much.
No, I mean, because you'll be playing Killzone 3, and then on top of that, going back to GoldenEye, you're set.
Yeah, there will be a bit of a difference, I suppose. I think probably more than anything, rather than it taking away from my experiences of playing retro games, it'll probably make me appreciate the graphics of modern games a little bit more.
Certainly, yeah. Well,
So yeah, that's what I've decided to do. I'm open to any suggestions on games that I should go back to. I did start a thread on the Gamer Dork forum, actually. It's called, I think I titled it Going Full Retro. So any suggestions you can think of, either pop them in there or send them to our usual contact addresses, which we'll come to in just a minute.
no, I think it's a good choice. It's a good decision, because I remember I started gaming. I'm not much of a gamer myself. I'm more or less like you, but in terms of experience, I mean, I started gaming with the Mega Drive, and I've never been a PC gamer as most people have. I've played games on the PC, but never really had my own. And I started when the Mega Drive came out, and enjoyed playing on there. And I think that from then on, the PS1, the PS2, the PS3, it's just sort of been a growing hobby as well, as I said in the first episode. And I've got more and more into it over my last few years. I wish I was 10, 15 years younger, but I appreciate games a lot more, I think, now, because we've been spoilt with trophies and graphics and stories and characters and things. Yeah. And I just feel I'm never too old. We're never too old to game. I don't think. No.
I think one of the things that has sort of made me get into gaming a little bit more is finding the online communities that we've come across. Like GamerDork, obviously, because we're both part of GamerDork. In fact, I'm the only online gaming community I'm part of is GamerDork, and it's having the people around you that you can chat about games to, because none of my what you might call real world friends who I've known for a while are really big gamers. They play the odd game of FIFA or Call of Duty maybe, but they're not into games to the extent that I am. So I've not really got anyone, or never had anyone, to talk about games to. So finding the forums has been a godsend, really. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, certainly. Same here. I think it's enabled us to do this as well. This has been
absolutely
the let's say the peak of two gamer mates who met up every Friday, having a chat, playing old games, and being part of a community. Because I'm also exclusively only on the GamerDork as well. Being out here, there isn't much of a chance to start forums, because people here are each to their own, and they don't really want to get involved in stuff like that. They just sit at home and game. And I think that in Spain it's more of a life of living out on the street and not really staying at home and playing games. Okay, in the winter maybe, but in the summer you do most of your social life is amongst friends in bars and cafes and restaurants and out on the street.
Yeah.
But that's all well and good. But I think it's not affected my gaming, because I think that there are people like me who enjoy gaming as well and don't like to go out so much. But I think it's part and parcel of each. It allows me to disconnect also from that gaming world. But when I do want to have a little piece of England in my living room, let's say Britain back home, with English friends, with English people, really nice people, and a great community at that, then GamerDork for me is certainly the best place to go and have a game, a chat, a laugh, as I said before, with Killzone 3 now.
Yeah.
Anybody who hasn't checked them out, do so. Well worth it.
Right then, I think that about does us. Shall we go on to? We'll just give out our contact details. If anyone wants to get in touch with us, ask us any questions or suggest any games for us to play.
Yeah, do send us an email at lastsaveloaded@hotmail.co.uk. We appreciate questions, comments, ideas, anything. If you want to send us any ideas for games for the PS2, or, as Jake said, any retro games that you feel might tickle his fancy, then go ahead and do so. If you have something to say about Metal Gear 3 and you think that maybe perhaps we need to look out for something, or you feel that, I don't know, you want to make a comment about something we should look out for, something that we perhaps would like to see or you'd like to see, then also do contact us at the email above.
Absolutely. We are both also on Twitter.
We certainly are.
I think I'll let you deal with it. I'll let you give out the Twitter addresses this time, Joe. I made a bit of a hash of it last time, as I've not been able to forget very quickly, thanks to a few people.
Anyway, we're on Twitter. I'm at GBJoey71, and Jake is at Jake Del Toro. And you can, all one word, by the way, and you can contact us on Twitter at any time, any comments, like I said before, or anything that you would like us to include, questions, then feel free to send us an email or a tweet.
Absolutely. Well, that about wraps it up, I think.
It does indeed. I think it's time to get back to the PS2 and sit there and mess about with the controller and try and get through this game as quickly as possible, but obviously not rushing it.
No, so we'll be back hopefully in a couple of weeks with the next episode, with our thoughts and experiences from Snake Eater.
Maybe even with a little bit of Killzone 3 there, if your neighbours come back from holiday.
Yeah, possibly. Touch wood.
Yeah. We'll see. All right, then. Thanks to everyone again. Apologies for the delay, and it'll make things bigger and better, I'm sure, for the next episode. So,
yeah, let's hope so. It should do. Yeah, once again, apologies for the delay in this episode.
For me, I've been GB Joey, and my friend over there,
I have been Jake Del Toro.
with a W. Haha.
With a W, yeah. Piss off.
Right then. Look forward to the next one. Happy game.
Pack of bastards. See you next time. Happy gaming, everybody.
Last save loaded.